Green Man! 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 Holy YouTube video, Green Man!
Hey there, Grey Maniacs gather! All four of you, three of you, depending on how good my day is. Yeah, I just did it for my daily blog as always. You know, doing my thing, putting out as many videos as I can, trying to get people to watch them. Yeah, I'm around my girlfriend's, as I said yesterday. Not got much to do. I just lay around the bed all day, really. Sit around in the bed all day and watch YouTube videos. I've read a couple of comics over the last couple of days. These are all ones that are sent to me by Jambo. Oh, I need to zoom out a little bit. Whoa, no, not zoom in, zoom out. Right, here we go. So, I read Red Sonja #1. That was a pretty decent comic. I can't remember what happened in now. She fights the people with her sword. I can't remember exactly what happened in the story. Back, you hordes of hell, back, or Red Sonja slays. But it was good. I'm sure they were both, because I've got another one as well. Oh, this one was quite weird. She spent most of this issue blind. It was quite an interesting read though, this one, even though I was like in the middle of a run. Because I'm just reading as I get them in, because I have no idea when I finally get the full run, so I'm not going to bother like keeping them all until I get them all. I'm just going to read them as I get them in. But this was like kind of like thrown into the deep end of the story kind of thing. She was blind for most of it. There was various protagonists like after her. She was being carried off by a giant bird at the beginning of the story, and then there was like a lizard guy. Then there was a woman with a crossbow. A bald woman with a crossbow, and yeah, it was just like an interesting story. She gets trapped in a solid like red bubble at some one point. It was quite weird, but I can't remember what happened in this first one. I think it had two stories in it actually, but I can't remember what they were now. Oh yeah, the first one I think she found an old temple was full of like a Pan-like person, like a satyr who played his pipes and he made statues come alive, and he wanted to feed her to something that was dwelling down a hole in the ground kind of thing. Of course, she manages to defeat it and throws him down the well, down the hole in the ground. And then there was a secondary story that I think was that's right. The secondary story. Yeah, she retrieved some kind of serpent crown with Conan. I think it must have been crossed over from his story, and she took it back to this king who wanted it, and a king had promised her the greatest prize that a king can give, but he was a lying, two-faced arse, and as far as he was concerned, the greatest prize the king could offer was to be his concubine. So he had a court washed by his maidservants, the other concubines of his harem, and taken to his bed quarters. Let's just say it did not end well for him. It ended with him being dead, and his bodyguard being dead also. So yeah. And the nice Elvira's House of Mystery. This was quite a fun one. It had a few stories in it. First one was called Bugs, and some woman was tired of her boyfriend who was a slob. Don't get any ideas about that, babe. My woman just walked in. Just as I said the woman was tired of her boyfriend who was a slob, my girlfriend walked into the room with a look on her face as if to say, I know that feeling. Thanks for the cider, babe. She's bringing me much needed cider provisions. and so she chucks him out, and then she wakes up to see these cockroaches who have what's the bloody word, evolved into like cockroach humanos or something, like cockroach sapiens or something like that. And they're basically human-like cockroaches. They sort of they've got more human things, and they're gonna kill her as the first. She ends up. They end up getting drunk because they're slobs as well, like all men. They get drunk. She sticks them in a Tupperware pot, or it's called Yupperware in this, and she cooks them in the microwave. And then her boyfriend comes and starts eating them, and she's like, she runs off. He thinks they're some kind of weird snacks. Oh yeah, so yeah. Very strange. Anyway, there was a couple of other stories in there as well. I can't remember now, but all of the other House of Mystery, all the other DC horror hosts, all turn up. Because I'm assuming by this time all their books must have been cancelled. So you had Cain and Abel in there, of course. There was like a competition there to see where's Kane got to, because Kane used to be the guy from the House of Mystery, so they had like a competition for a while. There's a 4-page letters page in this, 4 pages of letters. Like, I've never seen so much. I think mostly it was entries into the Where is Kane competition. So Kane and Abel in there. Then they find something up the chimney, which turns out to be the 3 witches from the Witching Hour. Yeah, I think it's the Witching Hour. Is it Modred, Cynthia, and the other one? Sorry for forgetting your name, other witch. And then later on, Destiny from the Tales of the Haunted House. I think he was from. He comes along at the end of it. So it was quite. I can't remember what the other 2 stories were. There was 3 stories in it. I remember the human cockroach stories. These are all comics I got from Jambo, by the way. Very nice. Thank you, Jambo. And still got I've got his letter on the back of this one. I'll be keeping hold of that letter, of course. Let's see if I can remember what the other stories were. So we've got the human cockroaches. Oh, there was a guy who was cheating on his wife, and like as a private investigator that he kills. She's gonna you think he's killed her, because to reveal that he was gonna reveal that she was cheating on his wife, and it turns out she's got a twin, but he doesn't know that to the end. He keeps seeing her, thinking that she's come back to life, and it's actually her twin that he's seeing. But they do manage to do manage to fool them anyway. Let's see if I can find the names of all the witches. Mildred was the other one. Sorry, Mildred, I forgot Mildred's name. Oh yeah, then there was a story about some gangs. Like there's one gang who've got this monster like in the forest, and they keep getting other gangs to meet them in the forest to have beefs, to have fights, and then they run off and leave the monsters to kill them, and then they finally challenge another gang called the Vipers or something like that, and they come along all silent in the sewers kind of thing. But what that happens is they actually bring their own monster along with them. So they got like a monster giant snake, and the original gang have got like a monster giant rat kind of thing, and they end up both getting killed by their respective monsters. It's rather a silly story, as you'd expect from some of these House of Mysteries. Can be a bit daft. I think that was all the stories. Yeah, the giant rat. Yeah, so they both get killed on their turf, kind of thing. Yeah, and it turns out they've all come along to say Happy Halloween to Elvira. So maybe this is an October issue. Yeah, Destiny turns up at the door. I don't think she's drawn that well, Elvira. She doesn't look as cute as she looks. Too sort of pale, and like she's almost like a bit like a rotten zombie, to be honest, compared to what she does on the cover. But she looks a lot more lively. But that was nice. I don't know how many there was in the Elvira's House of Mystery run, but if I see them, I'll pick them up, obviously. But I won't make a list of them. Right, and finally, I've just finished reading The Flash, number 161. That's good for my run. I'm trying to get a nice Flash run together. I think I'm going from 150 to the end of the run. That's my attempted run that I'm going to do. This has got 2 stories in it. The first story is like a reimagining of the last week's story, the last month's story. Like there was a cover where the Flash's uniform is like nailed to a tree and signing on it saying, "No, I've had enough of you now, I can't do this anymore, blah, blah, blah." And it must have been in the last issue, there must have been a story based on that cover. But then they had a reimagining in this one based on the cover. I think that the last month's one was by Gardner Fox, and this one was done by, is it Robert Kanigher, I think, who invented the Flash, or did the Flash way back in the showcase when he first came around. That's my girlfriend's phone. It's just nuisance phone calls trying to sell her crap or try and get details so they can rip off her bank account and that kind of thing. We don't get phoned by anybody who actually is important. Right, so yeah, and then there's a backup story was the Mirror Master. He's got a mirror that can see 20 seconds into the future, and he sees that he's going to kill Flash in 20 seconds. But what's happened? Flash went 3 days into the future to try and fool him. So what he did, when he was about to be shot and the mirror shows him dying, he actually stops his vibrational pattern, so he goes back to the past. But meanwhile, he's still sitting there like he's come to the future as another time, and he's beating him up. But he wins anyway. All you need to know is the Flash wins. The Flash wins both times, basically. Yeah, in the first one where it's reimagined by Robert Kanigher, he's left his costume behind because it makes him he's late for the wedding. He's supposed to be married to Iris. I don't know if it's actually turned out to be a proper story or whether it was like a reimagined story. But he's supposed to be getting married to Iris, and he sees a super fast running turtle that makes him go into the future to sort of investigate it, and something to do with the time lag or something like that. He ends up being 5 hours late for his wedding, and Iris decides, he's on the outs kind of thing. So in dismay, he swears to quit being the Flash, and he later goes to visit her, and he gets into a fight with a bear. And later on, I can't remember where he comes to. She comes to see him. Yes, I think someone was trying to steal the Flash costume because he dumped it. It was taken to the Flash Museum, and he goes to sort of people are looking at the costume in the museum. Some thugs turn up to steal it so that their boss can shoot it, and he ends up fighting them, saving Iris's life because she just happened to be there. And somehow Iris doesn't. It was a bit silly that Iris says she imagined that he was the Flash, but he wasn't. Even though she's seen him turn into the Flash, they had some bogus thing about she thought she'd imagined it, something like that. It was all very strange. Anyway, that's that for this part of the blog. I'm now going to go to tomorrow. I'm going to do a flash trick. I'm going to go back into the past till tomorrow to show you the last vestiges of my box 13 that had the Moon Knight in them. So the end of my Mark Spector Moon Knight run. And I'll leave it in the capable hands of me from yesterday. Hey, I'm going back in time or something, or somebody from the future. Me from the future has gone back in. I don't know. Let's just straighten out this camera. I'm going to show you some comic books basically, but I'll tack this on to the end of my daily vlog tomorrow, just because I haven't really got that many comics to show. At least it's probably. Let's just show you the comic books and not worry about making sense or talking much because brain is not engaged yet. There you go. Ooh, he doesn't look very well in that one, does he? No, he doesn't look very well at all. I'm not even sure I've got the full run of this actually. I think I've still got a couple that I need. I can't remember now to finish off this run. His name is Dead Zone. You won't forget it. I think if I get all the Moon Knight and the Werewolf by Night that I need for this run, it's gonna bloody go. It's not gonna fit in the box anymore. It's kind of annoying. Mind you, the price of the first Moon Knight run, I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish that anytime soon anyway. Like giant size 50th. Mind you, I'm almost halfway to getting a payout from YouTube now. So, ooh, that's not too bad. I'm not going to be able to make a living out of it, of course. At least not yet. But keep trying, keep plugging away, onwards and upwards. We can but hope for the best. Oh man, my battery's running out and I've got loads of videos I want to do as well. Whoopsie daisy. Right, this is nearly the end of my bit of the run anyway. I know there's definitely gaps, because I've got 55, then the next one after that is 60. But maybe I only wanted to go up to 60. I'm not even sure how long that run goes for. So there's 55. But even look at that, the art. I'm not liking that art. I'm not feeling it. I think I've definitely read the stories when I got them in. I was like, ooh, they're not great stories. Oh, final phase. This says number 60. This may well be the end of the run. So that means I've got about 4 more comics to get to finish the run. 55, 57, 58, 59. Yeah, 4 more comics. That's assuming that is the actual last issue. I don't know if it is. I think it might have been. I don't remember reading it was the last issue, but don't quote me on it. Right, and finally on here I've got some kind of team-up book. Side by side with Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. It's a special edition, Marvel Comics edition number 1. Mark Spector Moon Knight, side by side with Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. There you go. Bit glary. I'm not too sure about this camera placement, to be honest. It's just, just thought I'd try something different today. Just couldn't bother to set up my usual place. This was already set up here, so I just sat in front of it. Right then. I shall say goodbye, because I'm assuming the me from tomorrow will be doing the beginning bit, and I'm gonna say goodbye from me from tomorrow. No, I should be pointing forwards. From tomorrow's in the forwards, isn't it? I don't know. From me from tomorrow, from me from yesterday. Cheers for watching, and until next time, which will be tomorrow for you and 2 days away from me. May all your news be good news.
K Titus, he watches every one of us. Dun 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 dun. K Titus. Thank you for commenting on my videos. Dun 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 dun. Yeah.